Recently, a YouTube channel in Vietnam expressed surprise when learning about the longevity of the Canadian-made DHC-6 Twin Otter seaplane. According to Vietnamese media, since 2010, the Vietnamese Ministry of National Defense has decided to sign an agreement to buy 6 DHC-6 400 seaplanes from Viking Air, Canada, and send 12 pilots to Canada to study for 17 months, before directly making a 10-day continuous flight with 50 flight hours, passing through 7 airports, 5 countries, with a distance of 14,000 kilometers to Vietnam in October 2013. According to technical documents of the Vietnamese military, the life expectancy of the DHC-6 seaplane is up to 39,000 hours. The Vietnam Defense Channel, which specializes in reporting on the Vietnamese military, wrote, "Thus, for the average DHC-6 seaplane currently in our country that only operates 400 flight hours a year, the life cycle of a DHC-6 is 78 years. Terrible. 78 years of continuous service. This is the most durable in the world, nothing else." In addition, according to documents of Viking Air Group, one of the manufacturers of the DHC-6 multi-purpose aircraft, the lifespan of an aircraft can be measured by the number of hours they have flown or the cycles they have performed. Each cycle represents a successful takeoff and landing, which will usually give an accurate picture of the condition of the plane, instead of calculating it by flight time. The DHC-6 fuselage has a lifespan of up to 132,000 cycles, while the wing has a lifespan of up to 66,000 cycles. Depending on the mission you assign, your DHC-6 can last for decades. Of course, compared to fighter aircraft, which must operate at high-speed ranges, supersonic speeds, operate in harsh conditions, and endure reactionary force from the use of weapons, so it is impossible to use the criteria of conventional passenger and patrol aircraft compared to fighter aircraft in terms of flying hours. Because patrol aircraft like the DHC-6 only have to serve lighter missions, at much slower flight speeds and lower ranges, so the aircraft's base frame is subjected to much lighter pressure, thereby allowing to increase the life of the aircraft. Of course, to achieve a record number of flight hours, 39,000 flight hours, according to Vietnam Air Force engineers, during the life cycle of the equipment, the following basic technical assurance work must be strictly adhered to. 1. Hourly maintenance, respectively according to milestones, 125, 250, 375, 500, 625, 750, 875, 1,000, and so on. 3 dots to 39,000 hours, equivalent to 312 hourly maintenance sessions. 2. Changing seasons, 2 times year, equivalent to 156 times. 3 is to preserve and stop flying for 7 days, equivalent to 4,068 times. 4 is a technical day twice a month, equivalent to 1,172 times. 5 is to go to factories and small and medium-sized repair workshops twice a year, equivalent to 156 times throughout the life cycle. In addition to the DHC-6, this channel also shares the life of the EC-225 helicopter line, manufactured by Eurocopter Company, which the Vietnamese Ministry of Defense imports in small quantities, with a life cycle of up to 9,000 flight hours, equivalent to 16 hours. Year of operation. Of course, to ensure continuous operation, the following technical assurance tasks must be performed. 1 is maintenance according to the following flight hour milestones: 15, 25, 50, 75, 100, 200, 400, 500, 600, up to 9,000 hours, equivalent to 360 maintenance times. Maintenance overtime is 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, up to 16 years, a total of 192 times. Season change. Maintenance is 32 times. Storing and stopping flying for 7 days is 834 times. Technical day, cycle 2 times, month, is 384 times. Check every 2 months for 96 times. Enter factories and small and medium-sized repair workshops 6 times. The Vietnamese Air Force, which mainly uses aircraft systems from the Soviet Union and Russia, seems to be unfamiliar with the fact that aircraft made by the U.S. and Western Europe have a better lifespan, but are also much more expensive. 80% of the Vietnamese Army's weapons equipment is still weapons produced by Russia and the Soviet Union. Particularly for the Air Force, this number must be up to 90%. Notably, since the early 2010s, Vietnam has reorganized its naval air force to deal with China's threat in the East Sea. In fact, according to Vietnamese news channels, their naval air force was established in 1981 on the basis of receiving 2 squadrons of Ka-25 submarine hunting helicopters and B-12 seaplanes from the Union. Shove. However, under difficult conditions, lack of manpower, and lack of technical synchronization, on April 30, 1984, Vietnam transferred 2 squadrons from the Navy to the Air Force for general management. To meet mission requirements in the new situation, in September 1984, Vietnam established the 954th Naval Air Regiment of the Air Force, equipped with 12 Ka-25 helicopters and B-2 anti-submarine seaplanes. 12th. In March 1988, the regiment was reinforced with more modern Ka-28 anti-submarine helicopters. However, the number of Ka-25 and B-12 helicopters has expired. In May 1990, Regiment 954 mobilized all its forces from Cat B to Da Nang, with helicopters K-28, K-32, Mi-817. Entering the 2010s, after having time to prepare, the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam began planning to build a complete naval air force. On August 17, 2012, the Navy began construction of the Naval Air Base infrastructure in Cam Ranh. On May 22, 2013, the Minister of National Defense of Vietnam signed Decision 1681, organizing and upgrading the 954th Regiment into the 954th Air Force Brigade. On June 25, 2013, the Ministry of National Defense signed Decision 2251, transferring the 954th Brigade from the Air Force to the Navy, stationed in Cam Ranh City, Con Hoa Province. To serve the brigade's large requirements, Vietnam purchased 6 Canadian DHC-6 400 seaplanes to serve transport, troop transport, ambulance, rescue, and maritime patrol. There are 3 DHC-6 400s equipped with the ELM-2022A Maritime Surveillance Radar Complex and electro-optical sensors from Elta System Company provided by Israel. ELM-2022A has a surface reconnaissance range of up to 370 kilometers, capable of reconnaissance in the air. With this equipment, the brigade is tasked with transporting people, wounded and sick soldiers, goods, and mail from the mainland to islands and platforms. Search and rescue, overcoming consequences of natural disasters. Reconnaissance, maritime patrol, search at sea, marine survey, research, oil and gas exploration, and aquaculture exploitation. When necessary, can participate in the role of supply, support, and air transport according to tasks, transport for search and rescue, transporting landing troops. The DHC-6 400 is a new version of the DHC-6 seaplane line, designed and manufactured by Canada from the 1960s to the present, with a quantity of nearly 1,000 units. In particular, the 400 series version has been produced from 2008 to present. DHC-6 Series 400 version manufactured by Viking Air, equipped with PT-6A-34 turboprop engine, fuel capacity up to 1,466 liters. Maximum speed 337 km/h, maximum flight range 1480 km, flight time 7 hours, load capacity 1.8 tons, or carry 19 passengers. In addition to the DHC-6, the Vietnam Naval Air Force is also equipped with 4 other types of aircraft, including EC-225, Super Puma, Mk2+, multi-purpose transport helicopter manufactured by Eurocopter, France. This is one of the rare types of Western European helicopters used by the Vietnamese military. With comfortable interior and high reliability, Vietnam often uses EC-225 to transport VIPs and senior leaders. K-28 submarine hunting helicopter, aided by the Soviet Union to Vietnam since March 1988, with 8 units. This type of helicopter is also used with the Gepard 3.9 warship, the flagship of the Vietnamese Navy. This type is equipped with 2 turboshaft engines, using coaxial lifting propellers, maximum flight speed of 270 km/h, flight range of 980 km, equipped with one 400mm AT-1M, APR-2 torpedo, or 36 RGB sonobuoys. At least one K-32 transport helicopter, civilian passenger version of the Kamov Ka-27. Vietnam has 2 aircraft, but one was lost due to an accident. And some Mi-817 helicopters produced by Russia, the Soviet Union.